The Navy SEALs are unlike any other special operations unit in the military. SEAL stands for Sea, Air, and Land. Their origin began during World War II when Allied commanders recognized the need for special operations units. The Marine Raiders were some of these special units that were involved in World War II. One example of this special unit was the raid on Makin Island. These Marines were sent to scout the island for intelligence about the Japanese occupiers. After World War II, the Special Operations Units continued to serve their country in Korea. These units continued to use their specialties for underwater demolitions and recon. The most notable moment in the Korean War was the landing at Incheon on September 15, 1950. These units were sent in to map underwater obstacles at low tide so that the landing craft could safely make it ashore. For the remainder of the Korean War, the underwater demolitions teams conducted river and beach reconnaissance. Then the Vietnam War broke out on November 1, 1955. America would not be involved in the war for several more years, but the time was coming for a guerrilla-like military force.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
In 1961, President Kennedy realized the need for special forces, and in his speech to the public about putting a man on the moon, he also stated that over $100 million would be put towards the special forces. In March of 1961, the Chief of Naval Operations suggested that there should be a division of soldiers that could operate in the sea, on land, and in the air. Thus, the Navy SEALs were born. The first SEAL teams were SEAL Team 1, based in Coronado, California, and SEAL Team 2, based in Little Creek, Virginia. As NavySeals.com says, the men of the newly formed SEAL teams were educated in such unconventional areas such as hand-to-hand combat, high-altitude parachuting, safe-cracking, demolitions, and languages. In 1963, during the Vietnam War, the CIA began using the SEALs for ambushes and gathering intelligence on North Vietnamese officers. After the first failures of some missions, the SEALs and other special forces began to gather their own intelligence. This caused the success rate for these missions to increase dramatically, putting more confidence in the team's abilities. In 1970, when President Nixon decided to withdraw conventional troops, the SEAL teams continued operations until the later part of 1971. After the war, all underwater demolition teams became part of the Navy SEALs. The SEALs did not see much action until the 1983 invasion of Grenada. In the invasion, the SEALs captured the island's radio station so the enemy could not communicate. The SEALs also rescued the governor of the island in his mansion where the communist rebels had held him prisoner. The SEALs were also involved in the invasion of Panama in 1989 to overthrow its dictator, Noriega. The SEALs were sent to disable his private plane so he could not leave the country and then could be captured. The mission was successful but was costly for the SEALs, with 4 members killed. After about 10 years, terrorism became the new face of war with the 9/11 attacks. Following the attacks on the U.S., SEALs began operations overseas in the Middle East that still remain covert to this day.
Today, the Navy SEAL is very private about where they are located at in their missions. Very few people know where they are at all times except for certain people in the government. The United States Naval Special Development Group is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Some of the most recent accomplishments and missions they faced are the Afghanistan War, Iraq War, and the helicopter crash. During the Battle of Trafalgar, the Navy SEALs were looked upon heavily to act as a spy watch on a United States landing zone. During the early night on March 2, 2001, some DIV group members were flying a MH-47 Chinook helicopter. The ideal situation was for the DIV group members to land 4,300 feet east of the peak. but they took a slightly different route that landed the team members close to the Battle of Tukargar. While preparing for landing, some of the people recognized that human activity took place. Getting closer to landing, the helicopter was struck by a RPG that wounded one of the div crew members. This is an example of how the Navy SEALs participated in the Afghanistan War. The Iraq War took place on March 20th, 2003 in Iraq. President George Bush and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair, ordered the operation. The war was also known as the Second Gulf War and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Navy SEALs' involvement with the war was that they had a huge part of ending the war. As the years went by and George Bush's presidency term was ending, President Barack Obama was not in charge. President Obama ordered an operation known as Operation Neptune on May 1st, 2011 to kill the Al-Qaeda leader, Osama bin Laden, at his compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The operation lasted for 38 minutes. Before the operation took place, special training and practice were used to get the Navy SEALs prepared for a dangerous mission. To get an idea of how Osama bin Laden's compound was formed, a 1-acre building of the compound was formed to model the actual house. This allowed the team members to get an idea of how to maneuver through the compound safely to capture and kill the most wanted man in the world. CIA authority looked after the operation. Before the operation took place, special United States technological officers had to do some deep investigation to making sure that the compound the Navy SEAL team was about to raid was bin Laden's. After long, extensive research, the special United States technological officers gave the thumbs-up signal for the team to go on with the mission. During the night in Pakistan, the Navy SEALs landed on bin Laden's compound where they broke into the compound to capture the Al-Qaeda leader. Several people, including bin Laden, were shot. Bin Laden would die at the scene in front of one of his many wives. The helicopter that the Navy SEAL flew in was destroyed before throwing bin Laden's body into a nearby ocean. The reason why the helicopter was destroyed was to get rid of any evidence and details that the Iranians could find about the operation. The operation was a secret all along. No one knew about it until the operation went down. This accomplishment will go down as a historical day in America and in some parts of the country because all of the pain and torture bin Laden has caused to my country, but also my family members. My cousin was at the Pentagon when the helicopter flew into the building. She and several of her co-workers died. It was a sad day for my family and I. We are still hurt by the tragedy, but the killing of bin Laden will heal some parts of our heart. Recently, on August 8, 2011, Navy SEAL Team 6 flew to Wardak, which is in eastern Afghanistan, to back up Army Rangers that were in need of support. 30 Americans and 8 Afghanistans were killed in this helicopter crash. According to some reports, the Taliban admitted to firing heavy rocket grenades at the helicopter. The name of the helicopter was Chinook. This helicopter crash was the highest casualty ever in a single incident in a decade long. Most of the Americans that died during this crash were members of the Navy SEAL Team 6. Roughly about 25 SEAL Team Member 6 were killed during this firefight.